Well, I think that does bring up a good point that I failed to mention earlier. Another kind of thought that we had for these is to create a little bit more ownership of their vertical. So like if they are looking at the cost and being like, well, am I okay with reducing my compensation to make this purchase? That's kind of a little bit on the ownership side. So that kind of gets us to that a little bit closer to that point too. But that's probably pretty scary for people too.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And you do somewhat have to meet your employees where they're at. So if they're not at that point right now, maybe we start with an interim step somewhere where they're compensated on revenue, but one of their KPIs has to do with expenses. So you might be able to kind of get there another way, that until they kind of get the expense part under control, get their head wrapped around it and become familiar with it, it's not an all or nothing for their bonus or commission, whatever we're calling it. But it's going to incentivize them to be learning about it. So there's a couple different ways. That is the nice thing about talking about compensation like this. You can get really creative. We just don't want to your point, Michael, we don't want to get it too complicated. We want them to always kind of be able to know where they're headed for this.